Okay, so this is the card that I've made with the peekaboo file. As you can see, I've used a hexagon, but you could use any shape dependent on what you wanted. This just fitted the design that I wanted to do. So when the recipient receives the card, it says in the window, it's your birthday. But then when they open the card, the new greeting slides into position saying go bananas. So that's the peekaboo card. So again, that's what it looks like if you make the file and make it up into a card. Thank you. Bye. Hello my crafty friends, it's Beverly here over at Crafting Chaos, and I'm here with another video for you. And this time we're going to be looking at how to create a peekaboo card. So these are the type of cards that you kind of see one message when the recipient gets the card out of the envelope, and then when they open it, another greeting pops into the window. Now, this can be done using window punches, but you can do it on your scan and cut, and then once you've got the file, you can actually resize it to any size that you want. So I'm going to work with specific sizes just so that you've got something to follow. But remember, once you've got everything, if you select everything and resize it, you can resize it down or up as desired. So we're going to start with the basic card shapes. So we've got 2 pink shapes and 2 green shapes that we're going to need for the card. Now, I'm going to start off by bringing on 4 basic rectangle shapes. So I'm just going to bring on 2, 3, 4, and we're going to resize them accordingly. So just one more. I'll just duplicate that one. So now we've got our 4 squares that will be rectangles eventually. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the pink ones. Now, my pink one is 8, they're all 4.25 in height, and it's just the width that varies. So this one needs to be 4.25. So I'm going to uncheck the main aspect ratio. So all I've done is open the properties box, which is this icon. And by the way, for today's tutorial, I'm working on Canvas Workspace on the web. So the app that's on the web, not the downloadable version. So I'm just going to resize that to 4.25, and I'm going to make the other dimension 8.5. Oh, not 8.8, 8.5, and to say OK. The next one I've got at 4.25 by 5.5. So again, I'm going to change that one to 4.25 by 5.55. Sorry, 5.5. So let's double check. Yeah, 4.25 by 5.5. So those two, just for on the screen purposes for now, I'm just going to make pink, because they're the 2 bits that we're going to need to do the scoring and punching to later. So I'm just going to undo that rotation so I've got it in the right orientation. So I'm going to do the green ones now, and that one's 4.25 by 3, so I'm going to make this one 4.25 by 3. And then I've got one final one to do, which is 4.25 by 5.75. So again, 4.25 by 5.75, and say OK. So that is the equivalent green and these 2 pieces that we're making here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to duplicate this one because it will be simpler. So I'm just going to close the properties box momentarily, hit D on my keyboard for a duplicate, then reopen the properties box, and I'm going to resize that to 4.25 by 0.25. So I want a rectangle that's 1/4 of an inch so that I can add my score line here. So I'm going to make a duplicate of that. So I'm just going to close the properties box and hit D on my keyboard, because we'll use that one for this file. So I'm going to select both, and before we do any further, I'm just going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. So I've got them both selected, and then I'm going to edit and I'm going to line them up to the top and edit line to the right. So now that little rectangle is right on the edge of that one, and I'm going to double click to expose the nodes. And once that one's selected, we need to get rid of this one, so we're going to hit minus. We also need to get rid of, oops, if that happens, just double click to expose them again. We need to get rid of this one, and that leaves that one there. So before you touch anything else, click on the selection tool. That automatically selects the line for you. Click on the properties box, make it a cutting line and a perforating line, like so. Click off, select both, and then edit, process, and group, so that now we can move that independently without actually disturbing where the scoring line is. So I'm now going to move across to our other part, which again I need a 1/4 inch scoring line. So I'm going to bring in my rectangle, select both, go on edit, align at the top, and edit align to the right. And then I'm going to click on the small rectangle twice to expose the nodes and say minus, and then I'm going to click on this node and hit minus. Again, clicking on the selection tool before anything else, that automatically selects the line and negates the faffing around trying to get it if it doesn't. Select it, the properties box, select cutting line and perforating line, and close that down. Again now, select both of those and edit group. And then I'm going to view fit to mat so you can see everything that we've got so far. So now we've got our equivalent for that one and our equivalent for that one. Now we're going to work on this one. Now because we've done an octagon before, I'm going to do a different shape this time. And I think this time I might do a scalloped circle. So I'm going to click the scalloped circle and send it back. I'm going to open the properties box and make it 2 inches. So I want to maintain the aspect ratio and make it 2 inches. And close that down. So that should be roughly the same size as my hexagon. I might decide to make it 1/4 inch bigger, so I'm going to go 2.25 and say OK. And that makes it slightly bigger so that we've got a nice area to work on our card. Now, the tricky part for this is to get it in the right place. Now, I've found that the best way to do this in Canvas, and there are other ways, but in Canvas particularly, this is how I would do it. I would first of all, before we do anything else, take a duplicate of the shape that we're using and move it off to the side. I'm then going to select the smaller rectangle that has no score lines, as you see, and I'm going to edit, and I'm going to put that shape in the middle, and then I'm going to edit and shunt it right across so this edge is touching that edge. Now, what I'm going to do is, without moving anything, I just want to select the circle, or rather the scalloped circle, and to move it so many to the right, because we need this to be in exactly the same position for this piece and the longer piece. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to count 1 as we click the left arrow key. We're going to count how many. So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I know I've moved that 24 spaces to the left. I'm going to select both, edit, process the overlap and subtract. That is effectively now punched out that shape for us. Now I need another duplicate of this shape, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on this shape. So I'm going to line it up to the left and centre it to the middle. So now I can repeat that by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then select both and edit and subtract. So that's punched that out. So now I need to do the same thing at the opposite end. So I'm going to duplicate, bring it over here, and this time I'm going to edit and line it up to the left and also to the middle. Click on just the scallop shape, move it 24 spaces to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you do it like that, I find it easier if I do it in some sort of a rhythm, just makes me do it faster. So again, I'm going to subtract. So now we've effectively got the start of this piece and also this piece. Okay, so the last thing we need to add to this, excuse me, is a score line. So I'm going to select the path tool and holding my shift key down, I'm going to click on one side and click till it gets to the other side, double click to anchor, and I've just moved that. If that happens, just edit, undo and start again. So I'll do that once more. Hold your shift key down, drag to the other side, double click to anchor. Now that line is automatically selected, so I'm going to, while it's selected, make it a cutting line and a perforating line, and then I'm going to select it and I'm going to edit and stick it right in the middle of our card by going on, selecting both and edit and middle. So now that score line is right in the middle of our card and we can group that together. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is, I've made a shape that can go around the window and it fits the shape exactly, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to go on edit, create an offset, and I need to go outward, and I'm going to go out by about 1/4 inch or thereabouts and say OK. Now that will change that shape like so, and if you don't like that, the only way to get around it is to delete that, bring on the scallop again and shrink it down. If that one was, let's just check it, 2.25, then we need to make this one say 2.5, 1/2 inch bigger, and say OK. Close the properties box down and that should now nest nicely in there. So all I'm going to do now is select both shapes. Just before I do that, I'm going to take a copy of the smaller one. So I'm just going to hit D on my keyboard, and then we're going to select both shapes and we're going to line them up vertically and horizontally, and then you can edit and subtract. So now that's made a little frame for around just give it some colour so you can see it. So that was why it's going to cut, and that will fit your shape perfectly around the window, as you see. So the next thing, once you've got this all sorted out, what I wanted was to the ability to have some, just let me bring this to the front, sorry, to the very front, and then it's like a matting layer for our shape. So we've got to be a little bit clever with this one. So it's the smaller of the two that fits that area. Now remember, this shape was originally 4.25 by 8.5, so half of it exactly is a 4.25 square. So I'm going to bring on the square. I've got it at 4.2. I'm going to make it 4.25 by opening the properties box and making it 4.25. Say OK, and that's made a square that will fit, just get that out of the way, exactly on that piece there. So what we need to do now is we're going to close it for now, make a duplicate, open the properties box again, and we're going to make it try 4 and see how that's looking. So 1/4 inch either side, if you will. So I'm going to select both of the, this is where you've got to be smart now, because it won't let you punch it out of 2. You need one shape. So what I'm going to do to make sure I get it in exactly the right place for this hole, because if I just did it in this one now and did the 24, it wouldn't match. So I need to select both, edit, line it up vertically and horizontally, and then group. So now that's a grouped 2 squares, one smaller square on top of a bigger one. So now I can bring both shapes together, select, choose edit and line it to the middle and also to the right. So now that's put that right to the very edge of where that is. So now we can count in. Once we need to make sure that that one's at the back, so we're going to send it right to the back, so we need to be able to click on this one. Oops, if that happens, just click off somewhere if we just want the shape, and then count 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So now we need to carefully select that shape, edit and ungroup. We now need to carefully select the large one from behind and send it to the bin. Select both of these now and then edit and subtract, process the overlap, subtract. And if I just give that a little bit of colour and close, you'll see that when I bring that over now, it's going to fit perfectly over the hole and also give you that perfect matting layer just to cover up some of the workings of your card. So you now need one for this side, so all you need to do that is hit D on your keyboard, edit and flip on the vertical axes, and that makes the perfect mirror image for that side of your card. So to review, we've now got our shape to fit here, we've got our mat to go on the matting layer so that it'll go on the outside, and you've got your two layers for the other bits of the card. Now I can do a video on how to put the card together if you will. I have done a quick video just showing you the finished card that I've made. However, if you want a bit more detail on how to actually put the whole thing together, just leave comments below, and if I get enough interest then I'll look at doing a card. I do need to make another one for my nephew for his birthday, so I could always video that one if you wish. So now I've just dragged everything onto the mat, so I'm just making sure that everything's on the mat, and I'm going to call this one Peekaboo and save and say okay. You could then just download that up. Some of them are not on the cutting it up. We've got a couple of shapes that we haven't dragged on, so once again we can download, send it straight over to your scan and cut, or download to your PC, whichever is more suitable for you. Okay, so that's the Peekaboo card. I will have a photograph of the card and also a short video on how it actually works for you to have a look at in the main video. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you have, remember to like, share and subscribe. Also, if you've got any comments of anything that you'd like to see, please leave comments below in the comments box. And that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, by the way, remember the files are freely available over on my blog at beverly10blogspot.com. If you wish to download the file and not actually make it yourself and you just prefer to put it together, then feel free to go head over to my blog and download it for yourself. But I do ask that you please don't sell the files that I've made freely available to others, but feel free to share the information with your friends so that they can do likewise. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.